NASCAR Next Cup Racing on FX is brought to you by UPS, the official express delivery company of NASCAR. Pit stops among the leaders. Tony Stewart's been in along with Bobby Labonte. Dale Jr. will give up the lead to make his green flag stop. Matt.
And the Bud guys waiting for Jr. to come to a stop. You can see the wedge where it's going to go in the back window of the car. Jr. said near the end of that run, it's driving pretty decent now. As Tony Eury Jr. filling in back on the front as a tire changer. A little bit of trouble with the left rear. He's down and away. 16.7 seconds.
Larry, about half the lead lap cars have been in.
Yeah, I mean, along with these guys right here, Bobby Labonte, Elliott Sadler, Greg Biffle, Ryan Newman, Brian Vickers has all come to pit road. This is our leader right now, Matt Kenseth. Now, he was on pit road last at lap 171, which was about 125 laps ago. We expect him to pit road pretty soon, and that would let Ricky Rudd, who we documented pitted on 195, can go a little further. That would hand him the lead in the 21 car.
I love what Matt Kenseth told Robbie Reiser. Let me stay out long enough to lead a lap. And I tell you, that's a guy that's thinking. We talk big picture. That's thinking big picture. I hope he didn't run out of fuel, though. Uh-oh.
He becomes the 10th different
leader.
He's
out of fuel. He's out of fuel. And there you see it right there. 0 on his pit window.
Clear.
Right there.
Dick Bergman.
Plug it in, Robbie. I did run the line out. The line for it.
Here comes Kenseth down pit road. They were concerned about running the car too far, potentially running it out of fuel. He fires the engine now. They had last pitted on lap 174. Engine sounds fine. They are running at this point on pit road.
Ricky Rudd at his home racetrack becomes the leader. Rudd hunting his first top 10 finish of 2004. He's been to victory lane here twice. 1983 and 2001. And now the Wood brothers, number 21.
Oh, car in the wall down there. Is it?
Bounces off Newman.
It was Newman. Yeah, I think he just come out of the pits.
And bounced off. If he did hit the wall, bounced off and kept going.
Well, that's one thing about these soft walls. You just seem to be able to bounce off of them.
New leader is Jimmy Johnson with Jeff Gordon as Rudd makes his pit stop.
Now, because of the problem he had a while ago, they kept coming to pit road to check the tow. He last pitted on lap 204, so he can go about another 20 or 30 laps before he has to stop.
Jeff Gordon to second, Ward Burton to third, Jeff Burton to fourth, and Sterling Marlin to fifth. None of them have made stops, nor have Scott Riggs, Rusty Wallace. Who just brushed the wall?
9 car.
Casey Kane. First, let's show you what happened to Ryan Newman up at turn 2.
Just gets up there and you just can't get down, I'm telling you.
Darrell, this is looking just like last night's race. As here's Casey Kane doing much the same. Once you get past halfway, and there's a lot of rubber debris and marbles built up the hill, look at all that dust coming out the back of the car. That's just the stuff you run into up there, and once you get up there, it's like being on ice.
And you've been out here so long on these tires, they're so hot and they're so sticky that you just pick up all that debris, and you've got no control over the car.
And of course, what Jimmy Johnson right now in the 48 car would love to see now, he'd love to see a caution. He'd have a lot of cars trapped 1 or more laps down.
He and his teammate Jeff Gordon, because Gordon is second, Steve.
Mike, Jeff Gordon last pitted on lap 209. The two-time winner here told crew chief Robbie Loomis that his car is too loose. They haven't set a game plan yet as to when they're going to stop, but again, 209, their last stop.
Crew chief Robbie Loomis, the Hendrick cars running 1-2. Trouble turn 2. Boy, they went in there 3 abreast, and Jerry Mayfield almost paid the price. Tony Stewart was inside of Dale Jarrett, who was inside of Mayfield, and that almost was big.
Now what you're seeing is a difference in tires. You got cars out there with good tires, new tires. You got cars out there on old tires. Disparity in speed.
But Darrell, what I love about the tire Goodyear's brought here, Jimmy Johnson, he's been out there almost 100 laps. His last lap was a 21.74. These guys at half-fresh tires are only running 21.60s and 70s.
Ward Burton in third. He has kind of floated to the top of the pile, has not yet made the pit stop, but he stayed in contention all night.
The guys that we're talking about right now, though, if they have to cycle through their pit stops under green, they'll be pretty far back when they come to the end of the race.
Because of the little bit of time they are giving up on each lap to the other car.
And you can't sit out there forever.
Yeah, Bobby Labonte just went past Ward Burton. The difference in their lap times, about 0.4 of a second right there. Matt?
Jimmy Johnson reporting to his crew chief Chad Knaus the car is both loose and tight. Loose on entry, but it's tight off the corner. Now Chad has taken some time to figure out their game plan for their next stop, which should take place in about another 15 laps at this juncture, looking at an air pressure adjustment only. And by the way, Jimmy has done the best job ever of trying to sell the fact that there is still debris on the racetrack. Of course, he does say it with a chuckle.
Yeah, just think about this. I'm loose, so I'm going in the turn with my wheels turned to the right. That makes me loose, so I'm chasing the car. Now, when I got to get the thing turned to the left so I can come off the corner, I'm pushing. Fix the loose.
And of course, what Tony Stewart and the 20 car is doing, there's a difference in fresh and old tires. He's trying to get back on the lead lap. He's in 8th right now, 1 lap down. Right now, we have 7 cars on the lead lap with 90 laps to go.
So Stewart among those holding their breath. That green flag pit stops will completely cycle through and put them all back on the lead lap once again.
Mach 3 Turbo Champion invites you to enter the Gillette Young Guns Challenge. Each week, a lucky fan will win $5,000. Go to www.GilletteYoungGuns.com for details. You see the running order. Jimmy Johnson currently leading. Rusty Wallace is in the pits. Let's check in with Dick Burton.
Well, Rusty Wallace has the best record of any driver currently racing in this event tonight. He said just moments ago that he needed to pit bad, real bad, almost out of gas. They needed tires, Chris.
All right, Jeff Hammond, let's go over the guys that did pit, and obviously green flag racing going on right now.
Well, as we're looking right now, we got 3 guys that haven't come to pit road so far. That's the 48 car, our leader, Jimmy Johnson, his teammate, Jeff Gordon, as well as Sterling Marlin, who was a beneficiary of the free pass a little while ago. These guys right here, we're hearing right now also that there may be a problem on the 16 car. It looks like he's getting ready to come down on pit road. But these guys, as far as cycling through pit stops, when everything kind of shakes out, as we see one of those guys coming to pit road, that's Sterling Marlin. But the way things kind of cycle through, it should make Tony Stewart the leader if everybody comes to pit road in the next little bit.
And the 0 car coming in a second time, Ward Burton, for missing a lug nut. Obviously, your pit crew has to be on their toes.
No mistakes is what you got to have. No mistakes. Isn't that right, Dick Berggren?
That's exactly right. No mistakes whatsoever. But Sterling Marlin's crew had a can of ether on a long pole, ready to put it into the air cleaner area if they had run out of fuel. That's how far they pushed this engine. Come on.
Chad Knaus waiting for Jimmy Johnson to make his way to his pit stall. Kenny Tulo Briggs has made an air pressure adjustment in all 4 tires. When Kenny was done, Jimmy was called to pit road. They need a nice, steady stop here as they clean the windshield, pull a tear off that windshield so you can see a little bit better as they come around to the left side. And you see how hot those front rotors are glowing as they put on that left front tire. Great stop. He's down and away to Steve Burns.
Well, Matt, Jeff Gordon says his car is loose on entry. It's snug in the middle of the turns and loose on the exit. So they're going to put 1 round in the left rear. 4 tires for Jeff Gordon. This could be the last stop of the night. Needs to be a money stop, and it is.
Car in the wall, turn 2. It was Casey Mears. He bounced off, kept going. Kyle Petty makes his pit stop. He is the last car to make a green flag pit stop. We've now entirely cycled through pit stops.
And what those 2 teammates did, Jimmy Johnson in 48, Jeff Gordon in 24, Jimmy pitted, Jeff stayed out a lap and led a lap, got his 5 bonus points. That's 8 out of 11 races he's led. Then he came to pit road.
Jeff Gordon became the 12th different leader tonight. Let's show you what happened to Casey Mears up in turn 2, which, Darrell, that's been calamity corner.
Yeah, it's just dirty over there, Mike. That's about, I know we talk about all the time, but there's no grip out there. Fine line between what feels real good and what gets you in trouble.
So now, with pit stops completed, Tony Stewart's the leader by 4.5 seconds over Dale Earnhardt Jr. Bobby Labonte 3rd, Michael Waltrip and Matt Kenseth are your top 5.
But Darrell, just to support what you were talking a while ago, Jimmy Johnson, he's still well on the lead lap. He's back in 7th position. He stayed out there on those old tires. He is now 12 seconds behind our leader, Tony Stewart. Now he really wants that caution.
Here's Johnson coming into view.
And that's a little over a half a lap behind our leader right now.
And of course, they don't have to pit again, so they're good to go.
So green flag stops really jumble the field and spread things out a bit. Dale Jr. 4 seconds back of Tony Stewart. Chevy's in the front 4, Bobby Labonte and Michael Waltrip. Then Matt Kenseth, Jimmy Johnson, Brian Vickers, Ricky Rudd, and Mark Martin. Tony Stewart is your leader.